Okay, let's get started. Let's get going here. All right, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education, entertainment purposes only. And like I always do, I want to just do a quick market overview for those who want to listen to that in the first part, and then I'll jump into your questions. And yeah, what a crazy day on Friday. We knew there would be a big move, and there was a setup for higher. I mentioned on my last live stream we could get that fifth wave out of PAL. That was a possibility, and it looks like that's what we were trying to do. But what was really interesting, the SPY actually did not break this high. That is very interesting. Okay, I mean, what if this could be the unthinkable, right? What if, because everyone is assuming wave 5 is a sure thing, and I'm just throwing out another idea. What if that was 5 waves, and then we peaked here and we got a 1-2, okay, and then you have another 5 here, and then you have a 1-2. I mean, just could you imagine that? What a bull trap! I mean, that would be just epic bull trap, and that means Monday would be a bloodbath. I mean, Monday would be a bloodbath in the market if that was the count. Now, the odds don't favor that. That would be a very big outlier trade. The sure thing was to play for this fifth wave, and like I said earlier, getting this fifth wave, once we break the all-time high, the fifth wave can be finished at any moment. So there you go. So once we pierce that all-time high, 5 can be done at any moment. It doesn't have to extend all the way up to 600. It can end at any moment. And even if it pierces a high, there's no guarantee you're gonna. Let's say you get a pullback. There's no guarantee it'll continue to extend, either, because this too could turn into something, much more severe, especially if this is a major top in the market, the end of a major market cycle. So very dangerous to trade, to chase it. So I don't recommend trading the indices. It's very dangerous to short it for those reasons. So it's not something I like to trade. There's so many other stocks to go long. If you believe the market should go higher, there's other trades. I gave URA as a setup a couple days ago, and that pumped on Friday, and that was in the news. Uranium was in the news. Well, guess what? Elliot Sage said uranium was a buy. The bear market ended in uranium 3 or 4 days ago, and you could have bought it. You see, that was a long. You didn't need to mess around in this shit. This is just a mess. This is just day traders battling it out and losing all their money, with a few people that of an exception. But people can't help themselves. I know some people out there like, I just trade QQQ and nothing else. I just trade SPY and that's it. Well, if you do that, you're really not giving yourself exposure to all the opportunity out there. The opportunity is not in the stock market and the indices anymore. It is not in the indices, okay? But that's all. So I'm showing you guys a chart in the indices, but it's not something I think is a good trade on either side of the market right now, short or long. Now, it gives you a big dump. Okay, we got a long setup. Finally, it wants to rip higher. I'm not chasing it. I'll sit there and watch. I'll watch it go all the way up to 600 because I know it's a 5 and it's going to fail. And I'll be very patient and I'll get it and I'll catch it later. I'm not going to chase it. Okay? I'm not going to chase it. But a lot of people, they just can't help themselves. We heard yesterday, Paul, was a victory. Spike the football, mission accomplished speech. It surprised me how euphoric he was, and then it was technocrat euphoria on Friday with inflation. Dragon has been slayed. We've won the battle. We're so awesome. We're so smart. We did it. Congratulations, us. Let's go, play golf and have a beer, and we did it. I'm like, why would you set yourself up for that? Because what if the inflation comes out high? I mean, you don't know, and then you got to eat crow, and you'll look like a fool. So I'm like, he would only have done that kind of speech, which got the market so excited, for two things. One, he's not going to be in the job much longer. he's either going to resign or get fired. He knows he's getting fired with the new president, so he can go out and with this kind of proclamations and not be held accountable for it, or he's going to quit. We don't know, or he knows that maybe deflation that's coming is so bad that he feels so confident to say there's no inflation, but he'll never say that because he knows he's behind and he missed the curve. He's already knows he's so late, but he can't say it. But he's no, but by saying how that kind of victory statement, he knows there's no way there's going to be a surprise because he knows how bad it really is. Now that's what I think is really happening. I think the market is much weaker underneath the hood than what we're seeing come out yet. I think that will come out in the next 1 to 2 months, and then there'll be panic rate decreases to try to chase it, but the damage will be done. And I do think something already broke in the market. We see liquidity is being pushed into the market. And I read and I retweeted a guy that said that's typically right before big downturns because the Fed broke something and they need to refill the liquidity spigot fast to save the system, the actual system, which we saw when Japan was down over 10% in one day. So perhaps they overreact to that, but it's probably too little too late. You watch Fast Money, they're even saying the Fed was too late. They should have cut in March. That's what I said in March, guys. Go watch my March video. I said they should have cut. They didn't cut. It's almost like this Fast Money, watch my videos, because that's exactly what I was saying. They should have been cut in already. They're too late to the game. They just don't. They either realize it and not telling us, or we don't know yet. And that's where I think will surprise investors. There's no soft landing. I think there will be a recession, and he'll have to chase the rates down. And then at some point, we know in our charts, rates have to go higher, again, much higher. And that could either be a constitutional crisis, governmental debt crisis, or it could be a stagflation trade type of situation where economic growth collapses but inflation comes back somehow. All right. So anyway, that's what's going on in this market. Now the triple Qs, we're still way away from all-time highs. We actually aren't close to the August 22 peak. This is still a bearish setup. We really need to see some follow through Monday on the upside. If not, we could get a big push down. So this is some hidden bearish divergence in the market structure because the Q's not really supporting the pump. The Dow Jones did make another high, but I mentioned, when you look at the count of the Dow Jones, right, I could put 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put 3 here. Okay, 4 hour, no bearish, divergence. We erased it, so it's corrective still. It's a corrective structure, so it could just be corrective still. It could actually still be bearish for another leg lower, or we get this 4 and 5 and we get to 42,000, and then we top. So I don't know where we're going with it, but I don't like to, again, chase it, or it doesn't really mean anything to me right now. But it is interesting to watch. The IWM, kind of in the same situation. Here we erase divergence, so we could just be extending the C leg here. We had a short setup. The short setup's gone now. So now it's just kind of like you got to let it play out. And it's below 229. It could still reverse lower. Now, if we break 229, what's going to happen is we've got some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a big pullback. And we'll have to reassess what the wave structure looks like. But I do think ultimately the small caps have a much bigger decline coming. No matter if this gets pushed out, we have a big drop coming in the future. So I just think for right now, again, there's a lot of euphoria in the marketplace from fundamental technocratic investors. On Friday, the retail has already been euphoric. They're just piling in everything. Like Kava is a perfect example of the insanity that's gripping the market right now. It's trading at 400 times. I mean, you got 400 times. I mean, what is it going to become? Is it like the next, like McDonald's? Like, is it going to be like $100 billion company? Like I mean, that's just telling you the mania cycle we're in. Now, there are some individual stocks that do show more upside, but there's also stocks that show more down. So it's a lot of mixed picture underneath the market. But anyway, that's the market here. In Bitcoin is erratic. We got out of this structure for the counter trend trade, and now, you know, you have to decide if you want to ride that to 68 or just take your money, because it could easily revert back down. And then oil should be breaking down very soon, and this is a warning sign for the market, because when oil breaks out of this consolidation that we have here, typically in the historic charts, anytime oil has broken out of a connector wave, this type of consolidation, and got that breakout to the downside, the markets have collapsed lower, because it's risk off, it's recession, surprise, it's deflation. This isn't because, oh yeah, there's just so much oil and everybody is just, cool if, driving EVs and doesn't need gas anymore. And like, no, this is because there's a recession typically, and there's panic in the market because they want to dump what they got. So this is a warning sign. The 10-year bond is also showing a warning sign. We have to get the 3.5. This could be risk off, right? That's a risk off, and we could be in a 1-2 setup here to the downside. The Japanese yen is another warning sign for the market. The Japanese yen broke down hard. Look at that. Okay, so remember the Japanese yen. We called the top here. We called the top here, and it happened. Boom. This is where the market peaked before we had that big drop a few weeks ago. But no one noticed the yen. It wasn't like the dynamic, the carry trade wasn't known to very few. So we ignored the yen, what the meaning of that was. Only when the yen got to about this point here and we broke this low did the market figure it out, and then we realized yen strength is bad and the market fell apart fast. Right now, this could be indicating if we push lower and we break this low, the market is topping here, and then the whole new leg lower, stronger in the end, the whole carry trade crisis reemerges again. Now, it's not guaranteed. I'm just showing you an idea to keep an eye on, because we could still be in X and pump up. If we get this yen weakness up to here, which is the more traditional corrective move, that could support the market. So we just don't know. But it was interesting, as euphoric as the market was, the yen was really strong. Okay, that's again hidden bearish divergence within the market. The VIX is at a buy area on Friday as well, showing bulls that could be dangerous to chase it here. It did play out the flat pattern I mentioned it could do. It looks like it could go maybe a little bit lower in this area, and then we could see a reversal out, surprising everyone. As long as we're above 14.4, the VIX is bullish, and it should continue higher. Again, I can't be wrong. All right, I think I covered all the markets. Let's go to gold and silver real quick. Gold, very interesting chart. As long as we're below 25.32, the peak is in place. Now, if we lose that, then we're just extending in wave 5. We'll extend. So a very important moment. And then silver too. Silver tried its hardest to break the high to make a 5th wave, to negate the bearish count that would have been catastrophic for silver longs. Will we get this 5th wave tomorrow on Monday, or was this a major bull trap in silver and it collapses Monday? I wonder. We'll have to know. Now, if we get the 5th wave in silver, I like to buy pullbacks that we get. So if we get 5 up, I would like to buy a pullback. That would be a good trade setup to keep an eye on next week. If this happens, just like I show it here, this would be a good trade setup. So there's a good trade setup for long silver to 35 bucks silver. That's the trade setup. If we can break this high, I don't want to chase it, but I want to break the high, and then I want to see a pullback. If we can do that, then this could be a good trade opportunity to keep an eye on. All right, let's go into your questions, guys. Thanks again, and we'll just start with our super chats like I normally do. Okay, Kalid. Sava. Good old Sava. I should probably read about what they do. We talk about them every day, every live stream. So I probably should figure out what these guys do because you know we look at this chart all the time. So again, you know, here's the problem with this. This second drop may not happen. Okay. What we know and expect is more upside. This is a tricky pattern right now that's developing in Sava because we could have you see the RSI bleed. We could have already peaked here, and then this actually could have been the low right there. And it's just so bullish. It didn't drop as deep as you normally see it. So, but this we don't know. So I think you put your peak there now. You have 3 down and 3 up. So the market's going to do a couple things. It's either going to just go launch from here. On Monday, it's gone, and you're not going to see it again. Or you get a little bit of another dip, which would be buyable at 29.12, 28.49, right in this area. But you see that candle, it looks like it wants to just take off, right? So I have it there. More than likely, the correction ended here, and it's just going to go. So that's how I look at Sava right now. All right, BTDR. Sorry, BTDR. All right, BTDR, you know, let's take a look at this here real quick. Again, looking for a big pump. A, B, C, D, E. So yeah, this is probably close to finishing, if not finished. It almost looks like the daily cycle has ended. Let's see. So there's our peak. There's your peak. So yeah, it looks like our daily cycle has ended. So it looks like that if this is accurate, the X wave is set, and now you're going to get a big move higher in this stock. You know, maybe it's something like this. As long as you're above $6.09, I would expect more upside. I expect more upside. All right. And then let's see this FFIE. FFIE. Let's take a look at that. Let's see here. I thought we did that one before. Yeah, there it is. Another one of these. All right, so it looks like we did push higher in 3, but this is incomplete. So this is definitely so a couple things that I see in this chart real quick. The first thing is you peaked out here, okay, obviously, and then you reset your RSI. But look at the RSI reset, almost all the way down. So this is just a sideways RSI bleed, and then on the 45-minute, the same thing. So what this is like a flat correction, just extreme. It's an extreme flat. And, you know, looking at it to me, because we broke this high, I would expect more upside in the future. But how it plays out from here is going to be tricky. Let's take a deeper look at it. You know, I was calling the peak here, but I'm gonna change that a little bit. I'm gonna change it because I did see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So what I'm gonna do is change the count to something more traditional. Elliott wave, and then we can look at what this is, this corrective structure against it. So right away, the 4, you met the 4 here, and you have 3 down, and then you came back, and then you come up. So this is some sideways move. Could that be the low? It doesn't seem likely, but it does seem likely you'll bounce and fail potentially. So this is not really tradable. I mean, I think the only way to trade this is either you were lucky and long here. If you're long down here, you just hold through this. But if you're like in this mix here, you're going to have to wait for a nice 3-wave drop that's clear. Because if you really look at where we are with it, I mean, you didn't get to 425, and there's really no setup. So I would just stay away from it. And right now, I would say, yes, I do think this high will get taken out at some point. But as of now, the way, again, I don't think the correction is just going to drop to 428, 425 right away. If it does, this is your buy area. If on Monday it just starts dropping, this is your buy area. Now, if it I don't think it's going to do that. I think it's going to do something like this, and then drop later, and then you'll have another buy. That's what I think is going to happen. All right, and then you'll see another wave out that should take this out. Okay, space is I think we saw that earlier where it was getting close to finishing up a cycle. Yep, so it's just grinding higher. There's really no change to the forecast, right? It's just looks like it's about to break out higher. Looks like here you got a 1, 2, 3, 4. You could be trying to make a 5th wave right now. So there's a couple things that can play out. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4. You make a 5th wave and then have a big drop. Okay? Like this, and then higher. That's a very conservative look. The aggressive view is it's this. 1, 2. 1, 2, and it launches Monday. Boom. Like a rocket. Rocket ship. Which one? I don't know. But I like to be long. About 525, the right side is to buy the dips, to stay long, be long, and don't do anything else. Because I think this 4 is going to go a lot higher than this. It's just my guess, especially if we make that 5th wave. All right, thanks for the super chat, man. All right, Bama, let's go to yours. UUUs, yeah. So I've been following this UUU one for like a long time. I'm really watching that setup with uranium. So let's go into why I like uranium. Like GDX and the gold miners, they show from a historic long-term investor viewpoint that could be the trade for the next 10 to 15 years or investment. That's where your money needs to be, long-term investors. So as you can see, uranium put in a major low on March 20, and it's a very simple structure in URA, a 1-2-1-2. Okay, you broke this high, you made a higher high, and not only that, within this wave, you broke the high in B with a flat. And typically when flats bottom, which I think it did, it usually V's out. So that's what we could be seeing. But in the bigger picture of uranium is it's trading well below its all-time high in all these sector stocks. So there's so much more room for upside for the years to come. Okay, I'm just saying, why would uranium be good? Well, maybe utilities need to be built for AI, right? They said they take a lot of energy. There's not enough power. Well, are you going to get that power from coal? Maybe not. Natural gas? Maybe not. You know, you probably are going to be forced. And I think there are plants being built. And you know, so anyway. So UUU, Same type of looking chart, the historic chart. I love this historic chart because it's just so untouched, ripe. Look, it used to trade at $242, and then we went through a double correction here, and then we faded in 5-way. I mean, it's a beautiful corrective, and it ended here at like a 52 cents, and then we have started to form a bottom in this here, as we can see, a 1 2 3 4 5, and there's one. And if you really look at this bottom, you have a left shoulder, a massive head, and we should be finishing the right shoulder. And once we break this high, this thing's going to be off to the races technically. You're going to have an inverse head and shoulders that has gone back since 2012. That's over, you know, let's see, like 13 years in the making. A reversal pattern for 13 years. These are the setups I just love, man. Everyone's like, I want Nvidia, I want Apple. No, this is the shit I want. This is what I want to buy, okay, with my money. So here you go for investment. Not, you know, day trading too. Yeah, there's probably good day trades in this if you can get the 3. So here's the bottom line. So I do think, like the rest of the market, it was tough, right? Because this corrective structure here, we peaked in 1, you have 3 down for W, you have a nice 3-wave up for X, and you have 1, 2, okay, we need Y. We're almost there, like, oh, we're almost there. So my original buy was at 364, but here's the problem. We're seeing in the market a lot of, we're not getting that final swing. We should have got a bounce and failure, right? URA should have bounced and failed, right? We should have failed here at 485 and gone down and finished and had a clean buy. We should have done that. But the market is turning. So we got to like not fight that a little bit. And I want to be more aggressive with that, especially with how URA moved on Friday, gave a little more confidence. But now where we have this breakout here, a 1 2 1 2, and we broke out, and then we pulled back, and it was actually a buy on close with this small pullback. So I like to be more aggressive. Now, there's always a chance, and it's gonna, if it pushes up any further, then the 2's definitely in. But there is still a chance. If this does on Monday want to just collapse with the market, then I like to just add to positions and accumulate it and just play for the 2. So I think, you got to start buying something. That's how I looked at this. You have to start buying something, given what I'm seeing. Or you're going to wait too long, and then by the time you really feel more comfortable, you miss, like you're missing some money here. So I like to get more aggressive, and then just know maybe I need to add more if it does want to take that drop, surprise drop, and be comfortable with that loss, this difference, and then just be patient. Because again, the big picture looks good. The future, you know, fast forward, the indices may have a hell of a time in the next 5 years, but uranium may be like, everyone will be like dying to get in it for some reason. I don't know. So I'm just saying, and there's a lot of commodities that look like that. Gold miners is another one. And the miners, silver miners. But short term, I really was hoping for another dip, but the market's too strong. I don't know if you're going to get that. So you're just going to have to decide. That's why I said what I said on Twitter. All right, Alex, let's go to Dogecoin. Again, Dogecoin is, I think, more downside. I'm sure it pumped with the rest of crypto on Friday, and I just don't like buying it. But I know traders, you know, can't help themselves. All right, so we came back into the short area again, which I said could happen in this 2-wave. So we need to now project a new short target for it and see where it could end up. All right, so it could go higher to 12.75. So you still need to understand that it can pump more. in this area, and then find sellers again and try it'll be tested again. Now there's always a possibility that the connector wave is continuing to extend. There's always a possibility that this is a connector wave right here, and this is some kind of three wave, and you put a W, and then you're in some kind of X here, or Y, or this was X, so you have like, it could be something like this. There's always this possibility that, you know, so you have to be careful for that little trap as well. But whatever happens here long term, because we made this lower low, the market will pull it back down eventually again and take control of it. The bears will take control no matter what happens here. So there is a short opportunity again if it pumps into this area, but there's no guarantee that it doesn't do that bigger corrective move I showed. All right, AMC. Let's see. Let's take a look at where AMC is going. AMC. Where is AMC in my chart? There it is. Okay. So AMC again, we're just staying with this bullish case. Looks like we did almost got that dip into our buy area here again. And it looks like three waves, and it held, no divergence. So again, I'm going to keep the bullish labeling intact for now until the market tells us otherwise. And then you'll just have to decide what you want to do. So I think that's the count right now, something like that. Now it could still be in two, but again, as long as it's above 440, and this is not valid anymore as a buy area. So as long as it's above 440, more upsides expected. You break 440, it will double correct lower down to these lower areas. So we just don't know. I'm just labeling it in a more bullish like setup. And I don't see a reason to change that view, but you have to be patient. It looks like to allow this to play out some, but it does look, you know, buyable, and it's been buy. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time. This is just guessing if you try to go long here, but I mean, it could easily be in this two wave still and just drop again to 471, but really it needs to hold 441 to get this move out of here. All right, Bama Devon Energy, again, if I do not like the any of these commodity stocks because of oil forecast, so I like all these lower, every one of these lower. I do not like to buy any energy stocks at all. So this is 3. So maybe we're playing games with this two wave. Maybe we're going to play some games here where it goes like this. Okay, I'll be looking for that. A little bit of a pump back up to 50, 40, 50, 50, 51, something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. This looks like three waves down. So I'll be looking for something like that. Okay. Mustafa, let's keep going with yours. All right. German 40 index. Like most of the world markets, everything's kind of peaking out from major cycle lows now. Here you see the peak RSI is in this first part of the wave. So again, I don't know if I have all the data on this graph, but I'll do my best to try to label it for you. We gotta go with that for now. And I believe this cycle is what's ending and is going to correct soon in another 1-2. I've mentioned before the German index, like coming out of the German index looks much better. Like after we get through this pullback that I expect across world indices, like I think it could recover better than others. for whatever, because of, look, this 1 2 1 2, it's a very aggressive setup. So it looks like we need one more high, and then we should have a big pullback, which should coincide with the market drop. But this would be very buyable, and you'll wanna get that, because this would be a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and that shows and then out. It looks something like that. I don't think it's a 1 2 3 4 5 one. This is pretty short, and then I just don't see any other way to label it than what I have. So good luck. Euro USD. I don't get asked about the euro very often. So you know, I don't get asked about it very often, but I'll do what I can here. Okay, so we're going to be moving in three waves on this thing. So you got kind of W here. Let's take a look. 3, connector, 3. Maybe put the X there. A, B, C, D, E. Well, let's just take a step back here. So that won't work. So we're actually still in X. Now in Y. So yeah, more down. Whatever has happened in here should fail, and then that should set big X for a big Y later. So I think looking at this structure, you could see it dip down to 69 at some point. Seems pretty severe, but I think right now it's in a B wave. And so more conservatively, I'd be looking for a target of like 83. That's probably more realistic. 83. Now, this B wave may or may not be finished. We just don't know. We don't know. It looks like it's got a little more upside here, short term. Perhaps it'll reverse at $1.14.6, right in here. Again, this is tough to try to decipher some of these patterns, but you'll have to decide how you want to play that. But I think again, it looks like it needs another swing lower, and then at some point this should be set, and then you should see a similar strength reemerge. All right. All right, so I think I'd go with something like, that's what I'm thinking. And again, so good luck on that. All right, MLGO, Johnny, let's see here, MLGO. Micro algo. All right, looks like something we've looked at before. Deep in the abyss. One of these go to zeros, but we'll see how it's doing on our. So we did get another 2. Let's take a look. So it's corrective out of this low. We don't have 5, and it looks like we have 5 down here, although no divergence. So I would only count it as 3. So we're in an area that could still be in B even. So this could be too many possibilities to label it. So it's tough to say exactly where we're going with it. Now there is some bullish divergence here, so maybe B. Why don't we assume B is gonna take another leg lower and play out something like this? So I'll be looking for something like that and then out. All right. Because it's 5, it's like an A, B, C, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just a little, a little more downside, and then it should find a support. Okay, FET. Okay. So I usually don't like tell people how to what to sell or do because that's always I always say you got to do what's best for you. I'll just tell you the chart, but you'll have to decide what you want to do with that information. Um, and you know what I mean because like I always say, I can be wrong or you just never know. Fed on Coinbase. Okay, there it is. Fetch AI. All right. So I look at this. I only see 3 waves up. With the big extended 5th wave there on that final push. So it's a very corrective looking wave. Okay. So what does that mean? It means it may never come back above this peak ever again. It's not 5 waves. But you did come down in 3, okay? So you came down in 3 here. And you bounced exactly where I would have expected. Look, boom. So 82 cents. So that's actually good that you got that kind of reaction in the buy area from the market. You see how it came in and bam, it bounced out. So this is an important low for the stock, the crypto coin, because I could label it this way, and then you get lucky, and if you get lucky, you look like a genius buying it because it'll go to like $5-6. So would you cut your losses? So like I said, I can't tell you what to do, but I think as long as you're above 70 cents, it can easily continue to extend higher. It can extend higher. Of course, nothing goes up in a straight line. So as long as you're above that low, there's a chance it could be supported. And this is some wave 3. So we don't know. Now, what you want to see is a 3, a 4, and a 5. Now, if you get this 4 and 5, that should lead you to much more upside, okay? But if you don't get that, and it's just corrective and it fails like here, then you're destined to come back and break this low. So the question is, will we get a 4 and a 5? And the unfortunate thing is we don't know. Now, one good sign you may get the 4 and the 5 is this is so extended. So that's one. Now, looking at this chart pattern, I mean, maybe you can get this inverse head and shoulders. You can come back up to 151 here and then pull back and out. So again, I wish I knew like where it's going to go in the long term, but there's just not enough clues to know for sure. But as long as we're above that low, it could continue the grind higher in an impulse, but we just don't have enough data. So this will be a very personal decision you'll have to make. If you sell it now, you believe that it's corrective and will continue with a whole nother leg lower. That's what you'll be believing. Because if we took this out, this would be W, X, and Y, and yeah, it would basically be a go to zero coin. So this is a very important moment and pretty important level. So yeah, tough decision. If I was trading it, it'd be a tough decision. Like, but you'll have to do what's best for you. Good luck on that, man. All right, Florian, thanks for the super chat, man. Let's take a look at what you got. Tesla. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla. How's that doing these days? Again, Tesla's an interesting one because you know, it is struggling here. I am expecting another leg lower, but you only have three. So the market is still trying to figure out, does it want to short squeeze this X or not? So if you can break 220, 228, 220, I'm sorry, 229, then I would be looking for another move higher, and that could create a lot of different looking structure. So then I wouldn't like the short-term bear case anymore. Eventually, you know, maybe you could say this is just a big lead-in diagonal that's starting with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so maybe you could like switch back to a bullish case. But yeah, I would definitely say it's very important, and we know that. But look, this is the bear market downtrend line. We'd have to break through that, close above it, and then that should open you up for more upside. But here, you could be at a cliff, like at the edge of a cliff looking down right now. Going long could be one of the most foolish things you could do right now, potentially. We just don't know. Unfortunately, there's not enough data to trade this like middle area, which I avoid, which is why I don't like to trade Tesla here. Although, if you're an aggressive, if you're aggressive, you could try to short it and then close it out above 229. Short it here, close it out above 229. That's your risk. Your reward is all the way down. So you'll have to decide. But I think we didn't get much clues from the recent action. Zoom is deciding if it wants to pump in the connector or not. We need to wait and see. I think the key level in Zoom is 76.18. Until then, it's in danger of failing, just like I have here. So we don't know. I don't like to trade it at all. But once you break 76, this 76 here, 76, 76.18 or whatever, then Zoom's going to turn into a big connector wave, like this, and do something like that. Okay. I'll give you my view on NVIDIA earnings. It's really tough where it's trading right now. We did do an earnings thing on NVIDIA before, and we got that right on my videos. So again, what are we going to do here? The market right now is in mania euphoric mode. I haven't heard people so euphoric on NVIDIA than I've ever seen. So they could be set up for massive disappointment. If anything negative comes out, you got everyone on one side of the boat right now on NVIDIA. Everyone. So they better pray the news is good. Now, if the news is good, you're going to get this fifth wave. It's going to finish. And you'll want to go long in the earnings, right? Because it should touch 154, 160. Okay. So we don't have any clues yet, because if we look at this wave, we don't have a fifth wave. We don't have an impulse. It's still corrective. Now it's about to make it, but it hasn't. So it's close, but no cigar. So if we can't make that push higher to get this in 5, then it is set up for a catastrophe into earnings as a bear potential. So we don't know. In here, it's just too much guessing. Maybe the best play is a straddle-like type position, and then give yourself like 90 days out, because you'll tag this. If you're lucky, sell it, hold this, put or whatever, and then in the future we'll be back down and you could cash it out later. Maybe that's the way to play this thing. And then if it's a put, boom, you make it, you sell it, and you have your call, and then you just wait for the rebound and then dump it. So maybe the best play here is a straddle, giving yourself enough time to allow this thing to kind of play out more. But I don't trade options, so I'm not the best expert on that, but I'm just saying that this is it's priced for perfection. It can't have one little thing go wrong, or it will be a catastrophe on earnings. It will be. So I just don't. But we just don't know the future. We don't have any clues. I mean, we have some clues, like the economic undertone of the market seems negative. We're getting a lot of negative earnings and things, and out there, then the macro picture looks kind of worrisome with oil dropping. But maybe people are just loading up on these cards, just buying the shitload of cards from these guys without any care about ROI. Just buy because they're all maybe companies have FOMO'd in to having the need to buy these chips, and then they're like, we'll figure out the ROI piece later. We just need to get our orders in. But at some point that's going to end. So it's just tough. NVIDIA is a tough one here. We just don't have a lot of data to really go with. And we have talked about this wave 4 seems short compared to the wave 2 it matches against. So I just don't know. But I gave you my thoughts, and you'll just have to decide. Airbnb, we don't like that. We saw that that was been weak, and don't like it. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so we don't have a lot of chart data, so we have 3 waves and 3 waves, and then we have this 3 waves. Now, so the market can do a lot of things here. It could bounce again in 3 waves just like this. Boom. This could be a good trade up to 200. And then it'll dump again. But the problem is it could easily just keep breaking down to these lower targets. So if you want to try to trade this and buy it here, you can, but you'll need to decide where you want to put your stop loss. There's no real clear place to put it that I like. So you'll just have to decide on your own if you want to try to play for the bounce or not, and see if you get lucky. But this is, if it's going to bounce in another wave higher, this is where I'll do it. I think it's in an area that I don't like buying it. I don't like trading it. I just ignore Airbnb. I just want to ignore it because you look, it's very corrective. It seems like it wants to head lower. It just doesn't have a good looking chart to me. Let's look at the SPX. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that SPX. Yeah, so we may get that hanging man. We just need confirmation, right? Yeah, candles are usually, you need that like follow-up candle. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, look at that. Very interesting. So yeah, if we get a candle next month, let's say the candle closes around where we are now. We get a candle in September that looks something like that and is red, and September closes like here. That's a massive reversal pattern, and that should set you up for months of downside just by using candlesticks. But without the confirmation candle, we don't know. This is meaningless, but it is interesting. It is interesting to see how it plays out. I agree. All right, Bama. Yeah, GDX is tricky because of gold and what is going on with the dollar index and all sorts of stuff. So the GDX, let's take a look at it and just see if there was anything revealed on Friday about its direction overall. We know long term GDX is we want to be in GDX long term. Of course we do. Like the historical chart is it's a great long-term investment opportunity. Here we'll come out of this in the future and we'll be in over $100 easily. Now here is tricky. So 3-3. Okay, so again, if this is, let's just look at this count. A, B, C. Okay. C has to be in 5. 1, 2. Now, I had it like this. But what if I'm off by a swing, right? I could be. What if it's 3? And we do that. And then we hit the short there's the area, and then bam. So short term, you know, I don't like it because I can easily do this. And even if I do this, I could say it's still finished, and look, we're well below we're struggling here. We're turning down. Let's look at the daily cycle. Yeah, I mean, it looks like to me the daily cycle's already broke down. So I think I want to call that peak in still with more downside. I think I do. And gold, even if gold metal wants to extend a little bit, I think it's in a top in process for another. So I do like this is what I'm still looking at right now. I'm still looking for something like this. So nothing has changed for me on the gold miners yet. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. All right, CH, let's go to your super chat. CIFRN. CIFR, okay. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. All right, so this is a pretty bullish labeling. So let's take a step back and look something a little more conservative view. So let's see here. We have this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we take a little more conservative view, but it doesn't change the overall trajectory that I expect. We should have found, this is a perfect area to find support between the 2 and the 4 right there. So this could be looking good for a long opportunity right around now and out. That's what it looks like to me if this is the right count. Now the problem is you have 1, 2, 3, and I won't. That's not right to look at it that way, but it could be corrective in some ways, and then this could come all the way back down. So it's really tough to see. As long as we're above this trend line, I think the bull case is still valid here. And what are these guys? What kind of miner? Bitcoin mining. Okay. So Cypher. Interesting. I got to add this to our crypto. All right. So I'd go with this count for now. And just let's see what happens. But I think if you were to break $3.30, then it's a more bearish connector, and we're looking to retest this low. That's what I would be looking for. All right, IREN. Let's see here. Iris Energy. Yeah, we got this one. Nailed this one, guys. Look at that. We got the short here, and bam, just collapsed. Let's take a look at where we're trading again. Yep, 1, 2. We got this 4. That's a little too big to be a 4. So this may have morphed into something a little different. So let's just take a step back and look at it. Obviously, this cycle's over here. Let's go to the 4-hour. Okay, we erased divergence. So we only have 3 down. But you see how big this 4 is? It's too big of a bounce for 4. It's a new cycle. So we're moving down in 3. So that's actually supports potentially more upside. So I would say if you're a short, you need to be very careful. So it's either going to drop in 3 like this, and then be another great opportunity to play another pump, or it's gonna It's going to surprise people and make another move higher. So I definitely would be very careful if you're still in any short setup here, because there's a chance the market, we may want to decide to fool everyone and take another swing higher since this is in 3. So we just unfortunately don't know which path the market's going to take. But as long as you're above $6, it looks like it's going to be more upside. So I would be careful. If you were here short, maybe, you'll have to be hoping for another swing down. But I think once you break 879, because you already have 3, that would give you 5. Then to me, that's an impulse off this low, or 1212, and it's going to really jump and surprise everybody. But yeah, you only have 3. We did not get a 5th wave, so it changes the look of the structure now. Okay, so I would say it was a good short, and now if you're trading it, maybe the safe thing to do is just take your profit that you got here. But if you want to risk it, you could hope for another push lower. We just don't know if that's going to happen. But this cycle's over. This down, so it's in an uptrend now. Okay. All right, DG and Redfin. Dollar General playing out exactly as we expected. We're hoping to get it at $85. And I would just be patient and just kind of let this play out more. It looks like it's finishing. The A wave is finished here. 1, 2. Did it extend? It may have extended. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, actually, I may be done already here. And then it's in this push. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Oh, does it have earnings? Okay, maybe it's got an earnings disaster coming. Again, I don't like trading earnings, and we are trading. If you look at this, you have 3 and a connector, and now you're pushing down one more. So, what if? Again, I'm just showing you other ideas. What if this connector does another move higher? Now, it doesn't seem like it will do that with this lower low here, right here, this lower low. But just anyway, I just throw the idea out. But this is how I would label it right now. All right, Redfin. All right, it is in the sell area. We took this 2 out, so we're going to have to change the count a little bit, but it doesn't change the overall the long-term view of where I think it's heading. So it's a bigger 3-wave move into. So the sell area would end up being 11.99, almost where we are now. So there's that, and it looks like A, B, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so it's probably, again, a little more upside in here. You have this gap. Maybe you'll fill this gap here, and then it should fail, is what I'm thinking. Let's just take another step back. So we have a connector. We have, did we say here? Yeah, we have 5 down. We're saying here. So maybe I'm wrong, and this is just 3 down. And if that's 3 down, it could actually come back up to 18 or 19 and then fail later. So it is risky short looking at the bigger picture here, but there is an opportunity. But I would probably close it out if it pushed up above like 14.74. So you have to wait and see because it could easily end up doing something like this and then drop in later now that we broke back above that high. So just understand that that can happen too. Again, this isn't really tradable. Like I draw these charts, but it's really tough to trade now that we broke this high. I mean, if the bearish case is intact, this is where you would short it. But again, it's already taken such a long bounce here, big bounce. It could easily do the bigger connector. So it's tough to say which one it's going to go. All right, Johnny, let's go to yours. Hollow. Let's see here. Hollow. Hollow has pushed higher. I mentioned that would happen. So again, if you watch my videos, guys, you could have bought it at 40. And so I mean, and look, this looks very impulsive. Like it's another buy opportunity, right? You have an overlapping wave. So it looks like it's another 1-2 here set up. Now this, I don't like this. This is like triangle, so it may actually go back down a little deeper. So just be careful. Like this area is tough. We could do that. I think that would be too like bullish, but it's not technically impossible. You have your 3 waves. But this looks like an A, B, C, D, E. And if that's the case, it'll drop again. So very difficult to trade this short area, this area. It seems to me like it would need more downside to like 49.85 in this area. That's what it seems like is going to happen. So I'll be looking for something like that. As long as it's above 49, 409, it should continue to extend higher. All right. Thomas, aluminum, again, was on the edge of a cliff. It hasn't fallen off the cliff yet, but like oil, once it does, I think that is a massive warning sign to the world economy. Something very detrimental is taking shape, recession. So here we are. So we did bounce where we needed to, and we bounced. Okay, so that's good. The market is euphoric, but again, everything moves in waves, so we'll have to just wait and see what happens here. It looks like it moved down in 3 here, and now it's moving back up. So again, could we have something like this? Very possible, but it could be so many things. We could extend an X, right? It could do something like this now. Do that. So we don't have any good clues, but obviously it turned higher. It turned where it needed to, exactly where we wanted it. So now there's really no reason to expect it to drop until we get a reversal sign. We don't have that. So I think I would just assume higher prices. Again, it's a double-edged sword declaring the victory the way he did on Friday, because now it almost like gave everyone the green light to load back up on commodities and everything, and then all of a sudden inflation turns south. So it's like maybe his speech was so dovish because he wanted to pump the markets, or some people think he's pro-Biden Harris and he needs to, keep them happy so they win the election. But I don't think he would stake his professional reputation and then in a month or two, the CPI, like when aluminum is trading at 3,000 and all the commodities have pumped, he's like, oh yeah, my bad, we got to tighten again, I was wrong. I think it just seems so strange, but that's how the market perceived what happened on Friday. So commodities like went up. That's actually not good. So I'm just saying. All right, guys. So here you go. So it looks like it's turning up, and yeah, maybe I won't be surprised if it does a double up here. It does a double like this. It does a double up to 3,000, something like that. All right. And then NHY, let's go to that. It's in the buy area. We called this on my channel. Literally, we're down here. So I would just say stay long. Stay long until this low breaks at 54.44. It's a long play. I would just, there's really, again, there's no change. It looks like it's about to pump in wave 3. So it's another one that we called on my videos if it works out, if we get this wave 3. So good luck on that. All right, SILJ, let's see how that's doing. All right, tough chart here. Could say the 2 is done. Obviously got nice 3 waves. Great ratio divergence. So like the rest of silver, we need a 5th wave. We don't have a 5th wave. So that's a problem. We don't have confirmation of the low. Now, if we get a 5th wave, we get that, then yes, pullback. I would like to buy a pullback in silver miners to go long for a big move higher. But if you don't get the wave 3 and it breaks down from here, you'll take another leg lower in 2. And I'll give you guys the new target if that happens. Somewhere around 977, somewhere in $9 area. Okay, so we don't know. I wish I knew. It seems like the bulls are ready to bust this out, and then once this 2 is in, you just want to buy the next pullback. You just want to get long. Again, I don't like chasing. Momentum traders love to chase it, so they'll just chase it. But I don't. I rake buy a pullback, and then there's plenty of upside for the real, honestly, the years to come. And then we kind of sidestep this as well as you could have, to try to avoid, because we don't want to like get it and then hold it all the way back to $7 or but the higher, once we can get up to 17, that's good. That's some good gains, and we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. All right, Anonymous, good to see you again. Let's go to your crypto stocks. That was those were long trades. I also mentioned earlier, as for people that wanted to take some long positions, that I think most of them were working out. Let's see how it's going here. All right, so again, looks like we are coming to this upper area, so there's really no change. There you go. So I'm looking for 180, 190, and then a reversal. All right, BCHG. So we're in this X wave, so it could be a lot of different things, and it looks like some kind of triangle, like looking like wave count. Maybe does something like that. That's one possibility. The other one is it's like that. So I don't like to trade it. I just like to ignore it. I don't want to do anything with that. LTCN, I believe, looks like we had this area here. It looks like that's where it's headed, and then it should drop lower. So crypto decided to take that detour higher, which were the trade ideas. That's what I think it's looking like it's trying to do. Okay, but we have these areas here. We have even CLSK, right? We have that here. We had this, like, we were aware of the bear trap being set, and I was surprised it allowed it to be visible so long. I was, but on Friday, they just couldn't hold it back anymore. Okay. So good luck on that. All right, Joe, let's go to your question here. Let's see here. ETN. Eden. All right, so we're in this 4 wave. So it's probably, let's take a deeper look at this, because that's pretty deep for 4. It's still a 4, okay, so it's still 4. But yeah, I think this, you have to say it's finished here at 254. We're pushing up in the 5 wave. So you're in this 5th wave now off this low. So it looks like to me you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 1, 2 here. And then either the 2 will drop or the 2's already in and it's ready to launch. So one or the other, you can't really tell. All right, race, let's take a look at that one. Race, we pretty much nailed this here. We're in this 5th wave. Should be topping in 3. We'll still see more upside in the future, but this wave should be coming to an end. It looks like you have a 1, 2. This 3 should be ending at any moment. So I'd be looking for like a pullback and then another 5 before a bigger cycle top for a bigger drop. But then that's, again, still more upside. CrowdStrike. We're in this 2 wave. Should fail at some point is what we're looking for. Hard to say exactly where it's going to go. We need to see the connector. So the connector is, it's tough to say because let's go to we may actually, so maybe 2 has a more upside. So yeah, I think more upsides coming. It looks like the first wave is finished. I could put it here and here. It could do that. It could be here and do that. So it's hard to say where we are in B, but it looks to me like it's going to push higher in C, and then once we get a better connector, we can project where it will fail. Adobe here again. Want to see that second push lower, especially to fill this big gap here. So at some point, I do believe this will fail. We are looking at, let's see, 5 up here. So I'm going to change the labeling a little bit to something a little different here, and just call this more like something like that. And then this is a more elaborate connector wave that should be finishing up. So as long as we're below 580.96, I would still expect this to play out like I have it. But once we break that high, then you just have to call the 2 in, and the gap isn't going to fill. So I do believe this cycle is over. So as long as we're below, this peak, then this is in play. But once you go above it, it's negated, and then it should push out of this pattern. All right, and then Berkshire B. How are we doing on that? So we had this big drop here. So let's take another look at it. It definitely held the low. This only looks like 3 waves. I wonder if we should just put the 4 there and but see, that's not really a proper way to label it. So I guess you got to go with the more bullish count. I mean, it's either a 1, 2, 1, 2, and 5's going to extend, or it's AB. Let's try to do like a lead and diagonal ABC for 1, 2, then A, B, C with 3, 4, and then 5, A, B, C. But see, it's already, so I think this is a tough chart to try to figure out, but I would say probably the only way you can label this correctly is the more bullish setup. 1, 2, 3. Where I would just put yeah, I only see 3 waves, but I think it's too bullish looking at where the rest of the market is. I'm just going to put the 5 there, the 3 there, and then this 4 here, and then we have this 5. That would make a lot more sense to me where we are in the market cycle, and that lines up perfectly with a higher degree wave 4, which should be correct in the cycle that goes all the way back since 98, the dot-com era. So it'd be a big correction, but it would still lead to more upside in the future. But I do believe this lines up better with the rest of the market forecast, and I'm just going to have to go with this. And so if that's the case, we'll want to see bearish divergence, which we do. And then on the shorter cycle, we also see the bearish divergence. There. So good luck on that. And where could it reverse? 459.35 in this area. So maybe go a little bit higher. So as long as those bearish divergences remain, this is a valid count for potentially a major peak. That's the only count that makes sense. This is the only one that makes sense to me. I can't think of anything else. I can't say it's going to be a moon and then the rest of everything else isn't. So I just can't get there. All right, Saman. Let's see here. Natural gas. I do my best. So I'm forecasting natural gas based on the forecast of oil. I'm relating it to oil. So if oil is about to do this collapse, natural gas is going to go down too, which actually matches my natural gas forecast, which also has a big drop coming as well. It's ready to give up the ghost in wave 3 to the downside. So it's just everything lines up perfect. I am expecting much more downside in natural gas. We had the reason why is we had a big decline here and we had a big connector, but that connector failed. So that's going to set you up for another big decline. And yeah, it tried to fail, but once we go back below this low here, 1477, then it's going to be panic in the natural gas market for sellers like we've never seen. And we could actually see a flash crash type moment in natural gas, which may be needed to finally reverse it, where it goes zero or maybe even goes below zero, God forbid. Like oil went negative, right? You had to pay people to buy, so I don't know, again, why it would do that fundamentally. I'm just saying the chart looks horrible for natural gas using my system right now. The only hope I could see in natural gas is it's some kind of connector like this where it does this and then it comes back up to 5, but then ultimately it gets wiped out later. So this is the forecast. It lines up with my oil forecast. That's why I think this is what I think is going to happen. All right, Mike, MicroStrategy. Let's take a look at that. I still want more downside in MicroStrategy. And Bitcoin, of course. All right, so we're in this B wave that should eventually fail. So I'm looking for 85 bucks. PRTG. Portage Biotech. All right, that's a new one. So these are just like go to zero ones. And as you can see, we don't even have a reversal. So there's really no way to trade it, but we'll look at the shorter time frame and try our best. So you only have 3 waves up here, which is corrective. So it could easily go to new lows after this. There's no guarantee that it will make another high. So this is an area I call the middle, and it has it's an undeterminable. It's an area that the market is 50-50, and you really can't get any good insight from Elliott wave perspective. Let's look at the chart itself here. So that's your major line of resistance. Could it try to form a right shoulder and come out? Possible. The weekly cycle is trying to break out here. See that? So you see that? That's actually a really good sign. So I bet the daily cycle is way oversold. So I think what's going to happen here is it's going to form a right shoulder to allow the daily cycle to reset and then come out of this. So that's what I would expect. So I would expect something like W, X, Y. So but I do think the daily cycle seems too overbought to continue with the pump much higher without more reset, but I can be wrong. All right, and then Mira, I think gave me, no, I did not give Mira. Oh, not Mara. This is different. My bad. Mira. Pharmaceuticals. Okay. So looks like you're trying to form some kind of like inverse head and shoulders, like reversal here of some kind. You know, again, it's not a perfect line, but you get the idea. So I would just trade it bullish off of this low. Looks like 5 waves to me off the low. And now it's got to finish this thing out. Yeah, you know, the ideal buy area is at 89.1, 89 cents here for the next leg higher. So I wouldn't FOMO in this, but I do think it's going to make another push out of this eventually. But I think it needs more downside. But it could also do something like this. Do that later. It's very possible, but this needs to correct itself. So it actually looks like it even bounced already in some kind of so it may have already done something like this, where it did something like this. So I would just say, to me, it looks like it needs more downside, but it does seem like the first leg here is finished. This is finished, and now you're in a connector. This could go up pretty high. It could be shallow. We just don't know. But I don't. If I was trying to like get a position, I would wait and see if I could buy it down here. But buying here would be very speculative, and you would have to just stop out at $1.72 and hope either that is the bottom and this doesn't happen, or you play this connector wave. Okay. Good luck with that. Johnny GNS. All right. we have this, but I don't see our chart labeled. So let's take a look here. Oh, it's been a, did it, it must have split or something like that or something. All right. So, so you broke this low, so that's essentially go to zero stock. So there's really, it's really not a good, not good for like a long-term hold-in, but 2, 3, 4, 5, a connector, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more low. It looks like it needs one more low, and then it could pump again, but that pump will fail. So maybe 76, this area here, it could find that final low before you get another pump, is what I'm thinking. And in some kind of ABC here. Let's take a look here. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 3, so I just have to line that back up a little better. 5. So I'd be looking for that, and then it's very speculative, and it's like, hey, you go to Vegas, you put your money on black, and you get lucky, and it pumps back up to $7, and you hit it. There's really no other way to trade this that I see, but the pump could be big because this could be a big 3-wave move as well. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B. Oh, see a race divergence there. So it's 3. So that's good. That's what I was missing. So you could be ending this whole thing right there. So this whole cycle may need to correct. This whole leg. Remember when that whole leg corrected, look what happened? I'm not saying I don't want to get your hopes up, but it could be a big move when that leg needs to finish. But we just don't know. 55 cents. Where's 55 cents at? Right. Okay. So you have a major confluence of support right in this area. So here's another one at 55 cents. Right here. So yeah, I wouldn't, I think it's too early, but I bet you're going to get a reaction at 55 cents somewhere there. And if you're lucky, you know, if the stars in your horoscope says you're going to have luck that you could get a big move, a big pump. All right. Good luck on that. All right, Jose, Licy. Let's see here. See another one of these go to zeros. Connector. Looks like that's 5 down of some kind. One, 2, 3, 4. Let's just see. I mean, let's see here. 1, 2. Yeah. 5. Same thing here. Needs to go down in 5. Look, can't really get a good target, so you're just going to kind of have to eyeball 5 waves off this 5th wave. So it needs more downside, it looks like. And then when this is finished, there's maybe a chance for a move higher, and but then it will fail. This really, this looks like yeah, it's still part of the same correction, so it could be a lot of things. It could just be a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it could be too many. So I don't know if I'd like to trade this, but it's got it. This could be a lot of things. But yeah, when this is finished, it should bounce. But more than likely, that bounce will fail. All right. Wistful Thinker, SPRC. All right, we hit that fifth wave. We've come out, but it's only out in 3. So we don't know. Could still be in 5. We just don't have confirmation. The market is not given any clues. We don't know. We could even still be in 4 even. You only have 3, 3, 3. This looks kind of impulsive, so it looks like it wants to go lower, but yeah, this is a mess in here. It's not. There's. It could be still in 4. Maybe there's a chance it's still in 4, and you get one more pop higher, and then it fails. But there's no way to know. It's 50-50. You can't really gauge anything from the chart, man. All right, Florian, gold. Gold hit a major peak. It's been turning down, and I don't like to buy it here or FOMO in on it. But a lot of people can't resist it because it's in the news and they see it and they want to jump in at the end of the cycle like most traders do. So here you are. So again, here it could reverse. Now, if it does want to extend, that's fine. It just extends 5 out a little bit more, but it's in an area where selling should happen, and then we should get a bigger reversal in this 4 wave. All right, DXY is weaker. The DXY has been playing out since our short here on our DXY short, worked out beautifully, and it should continue lower now down to 97. Okay, just like I have here as this pushes out. USD GPY, yep, same thing. So this one, I do want another leg down. I want to see it hit 130.85. It's just how we're going to get there is going to be really key. This seems too quick, but you did get massive RSI reset, so there is a chance it truncated. We did not get 151, and we're about to have a Japanese yen melt up again. Carry trade fiasco, part 2. It could be on the verge of that. The other alternative is we're still in X and we still get this move up to 151. So it's in an area we can't decide, but the yen bulls are starting to take control of the currency again. But once we break this low, then I think it's safe to say we're starting our next leg lower. But ultimately, this is too many possibilities. I wouldn't label this. It's in an area of sideways action, but it does look like it wants to start its next moves to get stronger. All right, Thomas, MSTR. Yeah, MSTR is, like I mentioned before, I want more downside in that, in this C leg. I'd like to see it hit 84.97. Ideally. Now, big can keep going, but that's what I'm looking for, something like that. Okay. KOG. KOG. Let's see here. There it is. Wow, very bullish. So we did take the RSI out here finally. So that is your 3. A 3 obviously here. Here you have your 1-2, 1-2 setup. something like that. That form may be there. So you're in something like this. So I would say it's still going to be more upside, but I think the easy money is over. But you should get your pullback should be buyable for quite a while. But sometimes when these fours start to play out at these higher degrees, they could take a lot of time. So it could be a lot of dead money, sideways money once it does find a top. Okay. Victoria. All right, I'll take a look at those. All right, so we broke the all-time low. That's always a warning sign in crypto that it could become a go to zero. But let's see where we are with this. This looks like 5 down here, and well, maybe not 5 down. Maybe it's a connector here, and we need another 3 legs down at least. All right, so you could see it could go as low as 70 cents. It does look like it got the first leg finished here, and now it's pushing down in C. This looks too shallow to be C here, so it looks like it's some kind of like 1-2 playing out a C at the moment. It should go lower. So that's what I'd be looking for, and I'd be looking. You could look to buy it in this area here. If it's still alive by then, because once you break this low, the pattern is set up for failure. It's not a good long opportunity, but there is a chance it could bounce here. So that's how I look at this right now. Is it needs to finish that 3-wave connector, and then be good to go. And then this is like that's a connector, and that's your 3rd wave. So I think it needs another push down. I think that's too shallow, and we don't have enough chart data to probably properly analyze the RSI. Yeah, I would just kind of leave it at that for now. Perhaps if it here's another way to look at this too. If the daily cycle takes this out, if it does something like this, if this could come out and break this trend line, then I would say it's actually going to do something a little different. It's probably going to do a bigger connector, and then do something like, and do that. And then this is in 3, but it's not the full corrective move, and then this will fail and go lower. So just keep an eye on that. So if this pump becomes too significant, it could do that. So you may not get the complete like drop right away. So all right, TRIA USDT. All right, I'll just pick that. So as long as you're above 209, it's good. Potentially a bullish coin. Yeah, not enough chart data to really get a good RSI view of it, but looks like something like that. There's your first 3 waves down there. Then some kind of connector. Put it there. Yeah, actually I put that there. That's probably the better way to do it. And then no, let me see here. Yeah, it's got to be like this. We'll see that RSI. So this one's, because there's not a lot of data, so I would label it this way. But see, breaking this low was not good. So yeah, I think it's bouncing again, and then it probably will fail again later. I think I'll do something like that. All right, good luck on that. Enjoy stream. One, two, three, connector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I mean, you could probably label it this way. And then 3 down. So there's your buy area. So this is probably the most bullish setup of all the ones you listed that I see. 1, 2, 3 connector, A, B. Let's look at this one more time. Looks like 5 waves down actually. So it's something like this. It's probably a little different correction than I had up here. Something like this. Yeah, you know, depending on where I put the top will determine like how this finishes. I would just say, let me look at it a little bit closer. This one's a little bit trickier here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's why. Okay, so I think it's this. That would make more sense now. It's like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I think that would be the way to look at this. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm still missing a 1, 2, another 1, 2. So yeah, it's regardless, I won't label it, but there's another 1, 2, and then that should label this properly. But I think it's coming to an end soon, or will end, and then it should come out of this. All right, good luck on that. All right, Ryan, baby Shiba Uno. All right. Let's see here. So we did have a buy here. It bounced, but then it failed and broke the lows, so you would have stopped out. So now it's in a connector, and it sets up more downside in the future. So it's a kind of unfortunate, but let's take a look. Yeah, so it's in a connector wave still, but this I think what's going to play out here, it looks like something like this. More than likely, but then it will take another leg lower later. So I think that's what you're looking for. Okay, pretty straightforward. I think that's the play on this, and it's going to do something like that. Okay. IBRX, let's see here, IBRX, Pharma, almost at our buy area at 265. I like to trade this. We did call the buy here, got the pump. We called the buy again, got the pump. So we're 2 for 2. Maybe we'll be 3 for 3. So I do like to give this a shot. Should be coming down there. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So there's your first A. B, C. So yeah, looks like it needs one more wave down. One more wave down. That's what it looks like. All right, and then if we're lucky, we'll get another one of these coming. Or we'll get some bounce that you can trade. That's the idea. Okay, that's the idea. That's the hope. All right, that's the hope. We'll keep an eye on that one, so I don't lose track of it. All right, I got through baby sheep. Oh, there's another sheep, baby sheep. I didn't even know that. What do you know? All right, I'll look at that. Baby sheep. Look at that. What do you know? All right. Whoa. What the hell happened here? Okay, so I don't even know if there's going to be enough data to do this properly. There's no way to chart it. I mean, there's just no way unless I'm looking at a wrong exchange. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think I'll be able to chart it properly. The data is just not there. How do you even follow it? I mean, there's almost no way to look at it. Am I looking at the wrong thing, or let's go, maybe we'll go to this level, the 5 minute, to just come into existence here. Yeah, I mean, I don't see 5 here. I see 3, and then I see 5 down here, and then I see 3. So it just looks like to me like some kind of like 1, 2, like, and so I mean, it's I wouldn't know what to do with this. It's just the only clue I have is this looks like it's 5 waves down. You broke this low right there, and it looks 5, and so therefore I would say it could go lower. It's just too hard to do that. I tried. So let me just scan through the rest of the comments. I think I got through all the super chats, and let me take a look at what anybody else had any notes out there. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Zim, I do like to buy in a deeper pullback if it can come to it. Zim would be good. Yeah, I think it's bullish for small caps for sure, but then we know the rate cycle is going to change in the future. We just don't know when, and that's obviously bearish. I think trade disk is in some kind of fifth wave, like most of the market. 3 of 5 in a contracted end in diagonal that started in the 2020 low. Uh, Possible, but you know, I think when I look at the long-term chart, like if I could go back, I'm not sure if I have this labeled, which label in, because it moves around sometimes. But so I have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 3, 4, and then a 5, right? That's the count. That's my count. Now, if I'm saying it's A, B, C, and in diagonal, this would be an A, a B, and a C, right? And then you're saying that's an A, B, C, which would mean this, yeah, you know, typically in an end in diagonal, now here's the thing, the waves overlap more and you're getting a lot of separation here and acceleration, I think, as well within the wave structure. Like here's your first wave, and then your third wave, clearly, and then your fifth wave is making the bearish divergent. It just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it could do that, sure. I'm just gonna stick with this view for now. But this also doesn't look like 3 waves. This looks like clearly 5 waves, right? I don't, because if we look here at this wave, that would have to be another B, right? So you would have to say A, B, C, A, B, and then 1, 2, and then A, B, C, 3, 4, and then you'd have to do it. So I guess you would have to think the SPY would go to like 800 then or something. But then that's too big. Like that's typically an ended diagonal won't look. There'll be more like wedge looking and like a lot of overlapping waves, and it just doesn't. I don't like the shape of it. Not necessarily. Yeah, the wave count. I can try to force that, but the shape and the personality of the wave doesn't like feel like that would be the right way to label it. But we'll see. I guess in the future we'll know. I think Bitcoin is in a very difficult situation to predict the short-term movement. I think I ultimately want to see it at 42,000, and I think if you're patient enough, you'll get that. But how it plays out in here is going to be really wild. I think it's going to be tough to say. It may even surprise us and break the all-time high and then come down later. It's just going to be really difficult to trade this. I think what I don't expect is it's just going to become Moon Boy. To the moon, you know, Moon Boy, I'm rich. I doubt it. I think it's going to have to play this out, take time. Too much leverage is being used by both sides of the market. I think it needs to destroy the bears, destroy that leverage, and then destroy the bulls' leverage. And it's just going to keep doing that. And then at some point, there's no more leverage in the system, and then the market will just make its move, and it'll be done. That's how it's going to happen, I think. My original target for SPY was 600, which people thought I was freaking crazy. I guess it doesn't sound so crazy anymore, right? Because my long signal was in December to go long, and then I always had this target. This target has been here for the last, I would say, 8 or 9 months. I've had this chart. It's always been my target. I thought we peaked early based on the strength and intensity of the downtrend, but perhaps we didn't, and this 5 will finish where I had originally expected. So we'll have to wait and see. But when I had this target, people on my channel and you guys out there thought this was the dumbest thing to ever say. But now it's not so dumb, I guess. Not so dumb. But I bet you guys think it's stupid saying it's going to crash, right? So it's hard to believe like what the unthinkable. Usually the unthinkable happens in the market. What you think can never happen is usually what actually happens. And I think back in December, very few people were calling for it. They were all calling for like bigger drops and like, oh, that's the top, that's the top, that's the top. And we just rode it up. Now, we saw the freight train coming. So we got out around July 18th when that freight train was coming down the tracks. And we're like, holy shit, get out of the market. And sure, it was good. Now it's like, what do you do? Do you want to get back in and hope to chase the five? Did we peak early and my labeling is off? Do we get a deeper four and get in there? So like this is a tough decision that each is personal for each person. But anyway. All right. It looks like I got a couple more super chats here. Okay, I'll do that. I'll try that real quick. All right. PHB BTC times BTC USD. There we go. I have no idea what that means, but we'll go with it. Looks like a bottoming process is playing out. Some kind of accumulation here. Double bottom maybe. Off of this low. But again, you only have 3 up. So it's in a difficult spot because it's only 3. And then you only have 3 here. Now, this seems a little short. It seems like 21 would be the right area here, right here, to come back to. But you know, it should take another 3, but then this could be a bigger connector. There's too many possibilities. What it looks like to me is this is being accumulated of whatever this is. It looks like a bottoming process, and at some point it will come out and come out of it. It's just going to take time to play out. That's what it looks like to me. I think it looks. If I was guessing, it looks like it's in some kind of reversal process that's going to just need some time to play out and patience, and at some point it will really come out of that. But unfortunately, the chart isn't really giving us any good idea about short-term direction. I think long-term direction, I bet we get a spike out of this thing, whatever it represents. All right, Victoria. Oh, I missed something. Okay, TRIAS. TR. Let's see here. All right, so that looks like 3 down. That looks like some kind of, let's see if that's an impulse or not. That looks like, so we're just moving in 3s. I'll just say we're moving in 3s for now, and then we'll have to figure out like the wave count later. The direction here. And that looks like 5 up. So yeah, looks like to me you got something like this coming. All right. Now it's like, where does this B end? I mean, 3, connector, 3. Could be here. Could be there. That would be crazy if this is it. That would be an amazing long opportunity because you could buy it here and put a stop loss at 460, 445 or something and get massive gains if this is the count. The reason I think it could be is this looks like 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it's moving in threes. So you had your first three, so you have like W, you have an X, and now you're in Y. And to do Y, you need an A, a B, and a C. So that's what I think. That's why I think it could do something like that. Good luck on that. All right, Matic. Yeah, we have Matic. I'm gonna go ahead and pull Matic up. Matic's one we've been patiently waiting for our buy area, but see here what is going on. So yeah, 3 and another drop. This doesn't look deep enough. It looks like it's still going to go down. Like we want to see it drop more. I'm looking for, this is just a bounce here, a corrective move that should fail at some point. Where it's going to fail, I don't know, but I don't like trading it because of, I think we broke this low here, this low. And once we do that, it really sets you up for more downside. Let me see here. All right, we haven't broke it yet. So I guess this is a very bearish chart because it assumes we will break the low. And that assumption's negated if our longer term cycles turn on us. Let's see how the monthly. So we don't have a good clue. Let's look at the weekly. So we don't have any. See, we don't have a good. There's no way yet. So we don't have enough from the RSI to give us a clue if this is going to do some crazy connector here. So I think, you know, if this starts pushing up too strong, then it's going to do a connect or it's a bottom, which would be crazy because then it would be something like this. It would be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would do something like that. So I think we don't know. We don't have a bearish confirmation because we did not break this low yet, but it just seems likely that we will. But if this X could push up with a little more intensity, I think it could negate the bear case quickly and cause a massive short squeeze. And then you would just put the low there and just call this some kind of massive lead-in diagonal coming out, and it will come out. So it's really tough to say where exactly. I don't see a good setup, but you'll have to just make a decision on how you want to play that. But I do think it's going to push lower. I don't know how low, but it should make another swing down for the final move. All right, good luck on that. Okay, as for the data on Binance. Okay, I'll look at Matic again on Binance. It's kind of the same chart, right? I mean, it looks like the same to me almost, but maybe it's a little different. Maybe we'll have more RSI clues of where it's going. Right, so yeah, the RSI could help us here. Okay, so there you go. See that monthly cycle? If we could, if this bounce is strong enough and we could correct that monthly cycle, you see that monthly cycle, then we would have to say the bottom is in here, and we'll be going into some kind of wave 3 price action. It would do something like, you know, like this, and then it'll just going to come out. And I don't know how it will play out, but that's what I'd be looking for. So we don't know, but I would be keeping an eye on the intensity of this move. And yeah, if I saw that monthly cycle break, then I would say I need to get more bullish on this pretty quickly. So we have to wait and see how this plays out. But this could be an epic bull trap. But so just right here, it's not time yet to get too excited because it could surprise with a rug pull for one more low. Okay, all right, cool. I've got a ticker I can actually read on Baby Shiba. All right, we'll do this and then I'll wrap it up here. Baby Sheeb, WETH. Well, hold on. Baby Sheeb, WTET. Okay, what do you know? TradingView has everything. That's a little bit better. All right, so we're above that low. That's good. So again, we only have a three-wave move off the low. That's correct. As we all know, that's a corrective move, if you follow me, which is a bearish pattern on the longer term. And then we have 1, 2, 3 up. And then you have massive RSI reset. So let's see here. 1, 2. Let's take a look at this because this is your reset. So is this impulse? It's probably an A. I'm gonna put this as a like let's see, we didn't break that low either. Yeah, we'll have to say it's like some kind of A, and that's like an A, B, C, a B, and a C. So there's your area where it could bounce right here, right where it's trading right now, right there. So this is the area it could bounce, and it looks like you have your first set of, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just label this and see where we end up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, could be finished here. So if it's finished there, you have your first 3. So the market could give you a bounce in 3, another 3-way bounce. So I think if I was speculating in this and just playing around, this is like I would just buy it here and then have my stop loss against this low at 3371. I would just buy it and put a stop loss at 33. Maybe give yourself some room and on your stop loss, and then who knows, maybe you get to get another 3-wave move like this, something like that. All right, good luck on that. All right, so I've wrapped up everything, guys. I've been on for a couple hours, so I got things to do today, so I can't be on all night, all day here. But I'll be back on Futures Open on Sunday, of course. I like to do live stream. I only don't do live stream on futures if there's really nothing going on in the market on night. I mean, if it's like totally dead, nothing to say, I won't. But I think I'll try to do another live stream on futures, and then we'll go from there and see what we get for next week. All right, guys. I think it's NVIDIA earnings. I think that's the big event, the main event. Is NVIDIA going to blow it, or are they going to